Hello everyone and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. Happy Easter and I guess happy April Fool's Day today, Steve. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, Ben. Hello, FiST Chat fans. I hope it's been a good Easter for you and you've been enjoying April Fool's Day. Ben, you've got some big news?
Oh, well, yeah, we're going to establish a huge syndication deal with every cable company in the world, and we're just going to be on every screen imaginable. I'm guessing that's an April Fool. I'm guessing that's an April Fool's joke. That'll be in maybe 30 years' time if we ever get that kind of traction. But it was interesting to see that YouTube joke today about how they were not accepting any more entries and they were going to announce a winner from 8 years worth of video uploading in 2023.
Yeah, it'd be fair to say that the winner would probably be a cat doing something stupid.
Yeah, well, at least, unless they go the sellout route and give it to Gangnam Style or whatever his name is, Psy. but they made a specific point, you know, just because he's got 1.5 billion views doesn't make him a shoo-in.
No, that's right. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely. All right, before we move on, don't forget our website, www.fistchat.com. You can get all our links there. You can subscribe to our audio via iTunes, RSS, and FeedBurner. And also watch all of our videos from our 2 years on the internet on YouTube, Vimeo, and Digicosm TV. Interact with us on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. Love to hear from you. Check out our ebook on Amazon, FiST Report. .com. The link's there. Very good read, very cheap read too at 99 cents. So hope you can check it out. And don't forget, we've also got our weekly blogs, photography on Instagram and Flickr, and recommend us to anyone who may be interested in joining in on our mad ramblings each week on film, science, and technology. Now we'll go to our poll result that we had from last week. Does the world need an Apple iWatch? This is more out of curiosity more than anything. 36% said yes and 64% said no. Not really surprising there. I was one of the people that clicked on no. I think it's a fairly useless kind of gadget, but you know, it won't necessarily stop them from making it if the rumours are true.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people out there, you know, with prototypes and probably offerings ready to roll out. And I'm a bit like you, Ben. I mean, everything I need's on my phone. And when they work out how to strap my phone to my wrist, then I'll call it a watch.
Is that what a flexible screen's going to be for, do you think?
I think so. I'll wait for one of those.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move on to our main topic. We've mentioned, I think, Soylent Green before, but now it seems like we might be moving even faster in that direction. Rhinehart came up with a radical diet where essentially he was basically saying that he didn't need food itself, he just needed the chemicals and the nutrients within it. Made up some sort of concoction that he could drink, as I understand, and he's never felt better. Of course, you know, there's been a couple of experts saying that this is completely mad and it's sending out the wrong signal to people who want to diet. We'll get on to maybe the future, you know, when we run out of food in the future or whatever, a bit later in the ep. But there's got to be something a bit irresponsible about wanting to do this, isn't there? It's not just a simple case. You know, our bodies have been evolved to take food, haven't they?
Look, there's a couple of things about this. One, what he's doing is not actually that new. He's just found a new way to, you know, start a craze. And the other thing is unfortunately, it's likely he's bending the rules or being slightly dubious in what he's doing, probably for a hoax or perhaps a Kickstarter business opportunity maybe. So the basis of what he's doing is he's saying that, you know, why waste time sourcing and cooking food? Why, you know, if you're worried about food miles, if you're worried about, you know, like, I guess, people on the planet, then ethically the best way to go is to just buy the raw chemicals, mix them up in a shake and drink it, and you won't need food anymore. However, there's all sorts of inconsistencies in what he's been saying. You know, on one hand, he says he doesn't actually eat that any meals at all. On the other hand, he says, oh, he has a few meals here and there. He's not actually telling us what he's putting in there, and that's really important, because if he was using chemicals from your local chemical supply store, a lot of those aren't biologically active, so they wouldn't be giving him any nutrition at all. But that wouldn't be killing him as long as he's getting enough energy during the day through his shakes, and then he has one normal meal every couple of days. That will probably sustain him in quite a healthy way. So I just don't think he's actually quite doing what he's saying.
Yeah.
Would be the truth.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting concept.
Well, there are, in the health food shops, you see those shakes, diet loss shakes that they sell, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, or whatever flavor you want. I know of someone who actually went on that. Didn't last too long unfortunately. But, to me, I read it, and, like you said, that it's dubious what he's doing, but it kind of, sprung up those sci-fi sort of like scenarios that that Hollywood does so well. There'll be some sort of mass shortage of food in the future that not all of us can get fed, and this is kind of like the easiest way to get our nutrients. But
and you call it Soylent as well. I mean, he certainly, he might be an electrical engineer, but he certainly also knows a good thing or two about marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but the thing too is that you mentioned biologically active. I'm assuming that comes from the idea that food actually, the way it the way it grows and all of that, that's what kind of gives it the potency that we need for the nutrition that we need.
That's right. So he's not actually saying where these chemicals come from or how he's sourcing them. So we've got no idea what they actually are, which if he was really serious, he'd tell us. But you hit the nail on the head before. The reason he's reinvented something is because, quite literally, there are shakes, and hospitals actually have a lot of these drinks for people who are very ill and perhaps have gastrointestinal problems. And theoretically, you can live indefinitely off them. They provide all the nutrients. So he hasn't actually done anything new at all. The question is he has he actually managed to put together something that is nutritionally sound? Or is he just encouraging other nutcases on the internet to risk their lives by mixing up potions that really might be very bad for them?
Well, what about sending out a bad signal to people? Like, for example, in the this rebuttal article on Business Insider, it's saying, his claims are completely untested. They've never been included in a clinical trial. His diet isn't being monitored by a doctor. And they're saying his self-experiment is ludicrous and most likely dangerously unhealthy if he is actually doing what he said he's doing. So
I kind of agree with that, but let's face it, 90% of the diet industry is based around ludicrous, dangerous, and downright unhealthy claims. So why attack Rob? He's just given us a good story. Well done, Rob.
Absolutely. He's only 24. He's only 24. I understand. Is that right?
He's only 24. Look, my guess would be that what I would like to see come out of this is a greater topic about world population. Is it possible? One day will we have to live on Soylent? Or ethically, is Soylent a better way to go than sourcing your food? They're the sorts of arguments I think would be interesting. I don't think Rob's actually very interested in those arguments, though.
Oh, well, it'll be interesting to come back to it at any case if there's some sort of resolution to it.
No doubt we will on FiST Chat.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move along to our news bites. And this film news bite I thought was quite funny. Film festival cancels award to fake movie over tax scam. A United States film festival has withdrawn an award given to a British movie about a Gulf War veteran seeking justice after a London court jailed 5 people for making the movie as part of a £2.8 million tax scam. That sounds like something that happened here, wouldn't it? Because we do it for to write off taxes.
God bless Hollywood. It's the only place where there's no subsidies for filmmaking, and that's why the whole Veronica Mars project, no matter how you feel about a studio getting involved, at least it's people putting their money there. There's no overt support or any kind of subterfuge there. We know that the Australian and British governments have tax schemes, for their filmmakers, and obviously somebody came up with a really good idea, and not for a film.
Well, when there's money involved, someone will always be clever in their accounting, won't they?
Of course they will. Of course they will.
I might just bring this up now. I was going to mention at the end, but I was going to recommend, and it's sort of related, sort of in a way, to this. Is it's a book that I've just finished reading called "The Men Who Would Be King" by Nicole Laporte. An almost epic tale of moguls, movies, and a company called DreamWorks. Now, basically, it's focused on the sort of rise and fall of DreamWorks in Hollywood as the new studio. The political shenanigans that are going on in that, well, if any of it is true, obviously when the North is involved, there'll be a bent on it. But if half of the stuff that's described in this book is true, it is so antithetical to what movie making is about, the creative aspect of it, that you just wouldn't want to go and work there, because it's it's absolutely mad. And you know, we've got this tax scam story here, but when you hear about these sorts of things, about how, you know, like there's a really good section of the book that talks about how DreamWorks and Miramax were at each other for about 5-10 years, competing for the Best Picture awards at the Oscars. That alone should dissuade your faith in what the Oscars are really about. But it's probably a good book to read, and it kind of sort of gives you that perspective on how the industry really works.
Well, definitely look out for it then, Ben, and look out for FiST Chat fans. It sounds like a good read.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move on to our science news bite now, and again, another amusing one. Doomsday survival odds improve slightly from the ABC. Human civilization has a slim chance of surviving long enough to colonize other planets, but the odds are much better than some earlier estimates, a new analysis shows. So, well, we're in a better position now to survive, are we? Are the polar ice caps slowing down? They're melting or something, or what?
Look, you know, this once again is one of those things. I think, you know, the old nuclear war doomsday clock was good because there was a very sound reason for that. I think now it's just a matter of making predictions, and basically anyone could make that prediction based on when you think we're going to be able to get the USS Enterprise into the air with enough people on it to continue the human race before the Earth packs up and explodes. So, look, I'm actually a firm believer that we will get into the stars before the end of the world as we know it. So, I don't know when that will be.
Just reminds me too, someone sent me a link. There was a 25-minute video put up on YouTube from the International Space Station, where one of the astronauts up there was kind of taking you for a tour around the station. It's very fascinating and kind of gives you a window into probably our future too, because you know, all of her hair was sticking up because of the anti-gravity, and she was floating around and everything. And even though I'm sure that by the time massive amounts of people go into space, it'll probably be a little more comfortable than what it looks there. It's still an interesting new environment that we'll probably be going into at some point in the further future.
Yeah, well, that's right. So it's an interesting proposition. I don't think enough people actually consider the fact that that's where humans are headed one way or another.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move on to our tech news bites now. We actually have two of them, and both of them quite fascinating. Teen's multi-million-dollar Yahoo payday before 18th birthday. Now, this is another one of those dream scenario stories that the media just loves. A just 17 former Perth and Melbourne teen, Nick Delosio, is now one of the world's youngest self-made multimillionaires after tech giant Yahoo acquired his firm for a reported $28 million. His technology...
Small change.
No, absolutely. His technology summarily aims to change the way we read emails, news articles, or any other text on our computers and smartphones by using algorithms to summarize text in under 400 words, which I'm assuming would be of interest to, you know, a tech giant like Yahoo for its search capability, I'm guessing.
I would have thought that Apple should have snapped that up for their iWatch.
Well, I mean, you need to summarize on a very small screen, don't you?
We're all going to need Google glasses to read out our iWatches, mate, because the text is going to be so small.
Absolutely.
Or maybe your phone can send the message to your watch, which can send them to your glasses.
Yeah, exactly. But just on this, I mean, Wired magazine was basically stating there's no logical explanation for this acquisition. The team and technology are unexceptional, and the app itself will be shut down. So what Yahoo's really getting for its big check is momentum and buzz, so it could appear cool again.
Yeah.
And the flip side is that, again, this reminds me of the Instagram story that, you know, oh yeah, two guys in a garage built an app, and Facebook just, oh, we love it, we'll pay you $1 billion for it. There's got to be more going on here than meets the eye. The fact that he's so young, though, is still quite impressive.
Look, it's a bit like Hollywood, you know, and the backroom dealings. I'm sure that he knows someone who knows someone. I mean, otherwise we'd all be sending the apps that we've written to Yahoo, and we'd all be selling them for $30 million. I think it's just too much of a nice, clean little story about an instant millionaire, and like you say, it creates a little bit of hype and a little bit of excitement, and that's just marketing, really, isn't it? It's a $30 million marketing campaign. Oh
well, good luck to him. Anyway, any way you can get any way you can get 30 million is always good.
That's right. If anyone wants to buy FiST Chat out for 30 million,
we'll be up for it. Absolutely. And our final tech news bite from PC World: how the world's largest cyber attack slows down your internet use. Now, there was a very large global cyber attack, apparently, basically a denial of service attack. Briefly took some sites offline, slowed everything down. You can go, we'll put the PC World link up on our social media page so you can see more of the detail. But this, to me, really just highlighted cyber crime as opposed to traditional crime. You know, now these guys don't have to, you know, bother traveling anywhere or chasing people up. They can just sit in a room in front of a computer and wreak havoc, which really should be scaring people a lot more than what I think it is.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? It happened somewhere else, or didn't happen to you.
But the thing is that with the internet and connectivity, you can be on the other side of the world and still get attacked. That's, I think, that's what I think is the scary thing about this.
But until they max your credit card, it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. So, didn't we mention at some point, I mean, we've talking about this with social media, that something big has to happen before people start to question their trust in these things. Is this a type of thing maybe that, you know...
Look, I completely agree, and I think, you know, there's already plenty of buzz around, you know, and governments are starting to talk about it quite openly, and the sort of security measures they're taking, or the, I guess, the scenarios that they're modelling that might happen. You know, what would happen if one day the world gets shut down for 24 hours? Will it really be as bad as people say? I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, but the big one is if they break into your accounts and, you know, not just to raise your life, as happened to Matt Horan last year, but if they take your money or steal your identity, then that's really, that's got big implications. If they do it en masse, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Steve, we're out of time, so thanks again for the chat.
Anytime. Tweet us, FiST Chat fans, with, you know, anything, especially if you're trying some new diets.
Absolutely. It would be the ultimate April Fool's joke. All right, so that's it for this week's episode, so we'll catch you next week.